Welcome to Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Welcome to 198 of our podcast. We're so close to the end.
That's right. Episode 199 is our last one.
Oh, it might be. Yeah.
Not a chance. Not a chance. That would be hilarious, hey, if we were disappointed in ExileCon 2's newsfeed. So we're just like, you know what?
That's it. It's a good run.
199 is a good trial run, right? Just to see if we were into this podcast thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You let us down, guys. So sorry. That would be awesome. Big shout out to some new Patreons. Thank you, Raphael and David, for both joining our Patreon this week. You rock. And everybody else who supports Patreon, thank you. Patreon gets you access to After Dark. It is our podcast, After the Podcast, where we talk about, you just never know. You actually don't. We don't.
We never do.
Nope, we don't.
It could be grass. It could be gardening. It could be liquor. It could be Formula One. Sometimes Path
of Exile. Sometimes actually that's
got there
more
once or twice this past. Yeah, honestly, it is, right? It is.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be all Path of Exile outside of catching up, but you know,
they left us in a dry spell. We're gonna talk about whatever we want to. So yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody for supporting the podcast. We love you. You rock. And if you're interested, check it out on our website and other places. How was your week, buddy? You just got back. Okay. Hey, wow.
Hey,
nice to see you too.
Yeah, you can edit that out if you like. Coffee. It's still so hot. I'm doing fantastic, and thank you for asking. We had an awesome week. We just got back, like you said, from camping, and the kids are loving it. Like, it was only our second year, so I always feel it's always funny when it's like, you know, you're talking to another parent, you know, whether it's at a birthday party, school, whatever it is, and there's like, oh yeah, we have a family tradition of doing this or that, and then it's like, so how long have you been doing this? Oh, we started last year. You know, it's like family tradition that you've done once, maybe twice. Yeah. But anyway, I mean, it's got to start somewhere, and so we're starting that, right? This was our second year camping with the kids. Tried it out last year post-COVID to see if they liked it. Something my wife and I always like. So we did that again, and it was, the kids just absolutely love it. Love it. We went with my in-laws this time, my wife's parents, and they brought their kayaks, and so the kids were kayaking. They've grown a little, I guess, more than since the last time. So anyway, normally they would just sit on my, odd how that works. No, but they used to sit on my wife or mother-in-law's lap in the kayak because they were small.
Oh yeah, a bit big for that now.
Now they can't. So now they're kayaking on their own, and they're fantastic at it. You know, they're getting the turning down really well. The lake that we go to, we went to Chilliwack Lake for camping, and it's a glacier lake, and the river doesn't run into the lake. It runs out of the lake. Okay. Right. It keeps going downhill. And so there's parts of me, even though we're quite a ways away, like, you know, I have an 8-year-old, you know what 8-year-old arms look like. They just look like little pencils with skin on them. And so anyway, you know, all of a sudden I see him like coasting down the beach a little bit, and I'm like, just starting to panic in my head. Yeah, I just expect like all of a sudden the rapids take them away. I mean, it's still forever away, but you know, your parent heartbeat starts kicking in a little bit earlier. And so, so anyway, it was a lot of fun to see them kayaking on their own and doing their own thing. And
nice.
We're not, you know what it's like camping in BC. You're never supposed to feed the wildlife. And we totally did this time around.
Nice, good for you.
I mean, there's all the rules that you follow through to make sure, like, you know, the bears don't come by and investigate, or cougars or anything like that. But we have, sorry, my cat keeps bonking the mic.
Rude.
But there was this squirrel, the bravest squirrel ever. Yeah. Like, while we're washing our dishes, it's like in the dirt. So we had how we camp is we have these bins, just like, I don't know, like picture like a dollar store cat litter bin, like kind of wide, not too deep, a few inches deep. And so we'll just pour some water in there with some dish soap, and then, you know, that's where we'll be washing the dishes. And then we'll have another bin where all the dirty stuff is. Sure. And the squirrel's in there while we're doing dishes, licking up batter or bacon fat or whatever. Like brave
Some
as brave
balls
gets.
on that thing.
Like looking around, like it's still
Sure.
terrified, like a normal wildlife animal, always wondering if it's going to die in 2 seconds. But then it got right in there. It's crazy. Like I'm sitting at the table reading my book, sipping on coffee through my Yeti mug, and the squirrel just jumps up and starts like standing on its back 2 legs, hugging my peach that was like a foot in front of me on the table, and just starts gnawing away at it. It was the craziest thing. So I was having some fun with it, and I let the kids it was going nuts. The kids' grandma made some cookies for them and put them in the big Ziploc bag, and it was going nuts over that bag. Whatever it was in those cookies, it could not handle it. It needed to have it, but it couldn't get through the bag. We didn't want it to wreck the bag either because we needed it for other things. And so I'm like, okay, you know what, kids, let's take a cookie out, just put it on the table, and let's see how long it takes it to eat it. Well, it didn't eat it. Immediately, it picked the cookie up, and now the cookie is like half the body size of the squirrel. Picks the cookie up and just books it. Like it got the biggest, best treat. Yeah, so it's like it's robbing the bank. It's like, start the car! And the squirrel's just booking it, and it books it all the way across the little roadway. And I watched it scramble up a tree with the cookie in its mouth, and then put it in its stash, and you could see the cookie like sticking out of the tree.
That is awesome.
And you know what it did? Instead, on the way down, it did its little cat call where it goes like, mm-hmm. But then it ran straight back down and went back to the table and was like gnawing at that
waiting
cookie
for the next
again.
thing. Oh my God.
It went straight back to it. So this whole time we had this bravest squirrel in the world, and it was hilarious because the kids were so into it.
Yeah, especially because it's not something you see normally.
No, normally they're a lot more terrified. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it was pretty awesome. The kids kayaked. We played like lots of catch and baseball, and it was just great. Our campsite we had one neighbor.
Oh, nice.
One neighbor. The site that we chose just has, this is going to sound weird, but it just had nature around it. Like obviously when you camp, you have nature around it, but when you go to provincial park sites, where we live anyway, provincial park sites, you could have campsites. I mean, most of the time you do have campsites next to you, right? You'll have one on your left, right? Probably one behind, one across the little pathway to drive up to your campsite. So you could have, 4, 5, 6 neighbors. And this one, you could only have one. So it was really nice. Very relaxing. Went for 3 nights, 4 days. And on the way back, so I had this eye injury when I went, and it was hilarious. The eye injury that I had, I mean, I was kind of nervous because back when I lived in the apartment, there was a neighbor we had, great guy, fantastic guy, sometimes worked on the strat accounts with me, and he has a glass eye. And so one day, I mean, you never like to pry or anything like that, but one day, for whatever reason, I forget if I asked or he started the conversation, but he's like, you know what? I just barely grazed my eye with the corner of my door one day. Like I barely even felt it, but I knew there was like a little bit itchy. And he's like, I just barely grazed it. And I'm like, yeah, it was itchy. And it was itchy for a couple days. Day 3, I had a glass eye.
Damn.
He's like, it would just like whether it was an infection or whatever it was, like I didn't pry into the details of it. But yeah, so the guy had a glass eye for forever. And so ever since then, I'm just like, pretty terrified of little things. And I had the craziest eye pain. Something must have fallen into my eye and it hurt for half a day. It was like, so bad. I couldn't. I'm losing it. But no, well, that's in my mind. Sure. I don't remember what the guy said. I don't want to say his name, but I remember his story and how it felt so minor that he didn't even get his eye checked out. And so for me, like my eye was killing me. I was just reading my book in my tent. I was just going to bed early. It was like 8 o'clock. I was going to bed before the kids. Nothing. Like I'm looking up at my tent. I'm thinking about the paragraph that I just read. And all of a sudden my eye starts killing. Like I didn't feel anything fall in, nothing.
Oh, weird.
Anyway, I went to the optometrist that we go to when we got back, and there was, so whatever it wasn't in there anymore, but my eye was crazy inflamed. So anyway, I was doing that, and then I was getting, and so everything's fine, by the way, I have 2 eyes. That's great. Both of them not glass. And so I went to the pharmacy and I was waiting around for the prescription that they gave me just to get rid of the inflammation. And Justin, I found some Doritos. Remember the ketchup Doritos that I'm
wondering if you're going to say the same ones I know, because Christina bought some new ones last night and we were both like,
That's so exciting. They don't have milk, Justin. So the ketchup Doritos that were temporary didn't have milk in them. So even though they're still loaded with crap, and I can't have potato either, so I'm always not stuck with corn chips, right? It's just I just have corn chips. So I can't have potato chips. Too high in sugar, potatoes. And so anyway, so I'm there and I'm like, no way, all dressed Doritos. That's cool.
Not what we had.
So then I check the back. No milk warning, no nothing. Still a billion ingredients you don't understand, but no milk. Very low sugar for chips. For chips. And so I bought some Doritos and all dressed. I mean, come on. All dressed Doritos? You can't have that as a temporary flavor.
Must be, well, they could, because that's definitely Canadian. That they must be trying new stuff, because the one she bought was sour cream and onion Doritos, and both of us tried them last night and we were like, eh. They're like it's like a mild Cool Ranch is what it tasted like.
Yeah. I guess that'd be loaded with milk. But yeah, anyway, so all in all, fantastic week. Win-wins all around for the Tyler family.
That's awesome.
And we're going to the Blue Jays game tomorrow in Seattle.
Oh my God.
No, it's great. It's a 7 p.m. start, but we're going, I don't know, we're going to leave around 8, 9, 10, something like that. So we'll get there around noon or 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Poor kids though. Like we're going to the game. It is, because the day is starting. Well, I mean, the event is starting at 7 p.m. and their bedtime is 8 p.m.
You all, I assume, have
Lights
Nexus, like kids and everybody?
Yeah, we all have Nexus.
So it maybe not so bad, but still.
No, it'll be fine. I mean, the way back doesn't matter because the Nexus lane isn't 10 miles long. And you know what I mean? Like it only starts at a certain point.
Well, it could be.
I don't know.
It could be.
I don't know. It's a Friday night. Like you never know. That's why we're going on the Friday night
in hopes that game,
in hopes that people are going to prefer to go to the Saturday or the Sunday. Like in traffic.
Wait, there's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday game?
Yeah, all baseball games are done in like mini series, so they all play each other at least 3 or 4 times.
Really?
In a row. And you play 164 games, so it cuts down on travel substantially, right?
Interesting.
So yeah, we're hoping for the best. But yeah, the poor kids, they're normally in bed at 8 and the game starts at 7, and then we're going to be
sleep on the way
3-hour drive back. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, here's the thing, Justin. My 8 and 10-year-old have Nexus cards, and you go across the border more than all of us combined.
I know, I need to get it.
And you don't. And we're going to PAX West, right?
Yeah, we are. I was just talking to Christina about that like a couple weeks ago. We were talking about doing it. It's like a 2-year wait now to get the interview.
For Nexus?
Yes, it's ridiculous.
You waited so long. That's too bad. I'm sorry, man. That sucks.
So I might still fill out the stuff, but
yeah, get it done.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be done before that PAX thing.
You're delaying this like you did getting snipped.
Well, at least I can't end up with another child.
I know. That's right. That's right.
The worst thing that happens is I end up in a line, and then what I just do is go, nope.
Turn around.
That's right. Not worth it. So yeah.
Anyway, I didn't mean to take so long on my week. I had a fantastic week.
That's good. I'm glad you guys had fun.
Looking forward to tomorrow as well. Yeah. All of a sudden, we're a busy family instead of a homebody family.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. How about you? Tell me about your week.
My week was more homebody-ish. It was work. Hold on. Let me think. Work. I was actually really tired this week. Even right now, my eyes are a bit tired. I had 2 training seminars that I was asked to speak in this week and then run workshops for. So Tuesday and Wednesday were just long. And then I'm still playing on the Minecraft server that we created for foreverexiled.
Yeah, good for you.
I'm having fun.
There's and one other person?
No, I think there's like 7 or 8 people that play on it.
Good for you.
If you're interested, you can hop on our Discord. We started this Craft Exile. It's kind of like a Path of Exile Diablo style Minecraft mod. It's fun. But Minecraft for me is like
hopping on the Discord tells you how to get there.
Yeah. It's listed in the Discord.
Yeah. If you're interested, talk to us on Discord.
Yeah, you'll find it on Discord if you hop on.
But play by play.
Minecraft it's always one of those games where I can just get sunk into because it's just chill. So in the evening I can just get onto it, and all of a sudden it's like 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, shit.
That's funny.
So that happened twice this week. On both days that I was supposed to be up early for these seminars. So I was tired, a little bit tired, but yeah, I have been having fun playing that game with some of the people on there. It's like you level up and you get XP and you have a build and there's skills, and I did a map. There's maps in it, and it was fun. been fun. So that's actually going to run until, well, at least middle of August. So if anybody wants to join, they can join anytime. Otherwise, cool. My week was getting ready. We've got my wife's cousin coming from Chile tonight. So she arrives this evening. Whilst we're recording After Dark, they'll be out to the airport to pick her up, and she's going to be with us for, I think, 3 weeks. And what else did I do this week? Oh, some turd.
So hang on. Who?
Someone.
Okay.
They're not even a one. They're just a jerk.
There's some zero.
Somehow got access into my Panago account and ordered pizza for them to pick up last night. And I just happened.
Are you talking a family member or are you talking an idiot?
Some person. And I did look afterwards, and it, for some reason, that account is still using an email address and password that I had not changed because I use LastPass. It makes all my passwords awful, and you could never remember them. But this was one that I had not. And I just happened to get a notification from my credit card that there was this charge that showed up. And I was like, well, that's weird. Who the hell's ordering Panago right now? Like what's happening? So I didn't know it was Panago. I just knew that there was a charge. So I pulled it up and I'm like, Panago. And the weirdest part is the city that was listed for this charge is the same city that Ethan and Josh both just moved to. And so I was like, maybe Ethan accidentally used my account or something. Like what happened? So I called him and he was in the middle of cooking dinner. He's like, no, I didn't.
I'm cooking dinner, Dad. Didn't order anything.
Like, I haven't ordered Panago pizza for like over a year. So then I called Panago, and they don't have the ability to reset your password first off in their own system. You can't go in there and change your password. So anyway, I called them. They called the store out there, told them that it was a fraudulent purchase. It wasn't a real one. We got it all sorted out. And then she gets back on the phone. She's like, so they'll deal with this person when they get there. And I was like, they better shoot him in the face. What do you mean deal with?
Yeah, they're going to be like, excuse me, sir.
You shouldn't have done that. Here's your pizza anyway. Please
well,
come
maybe
back.
They'll have some police waiting.
I hope so. I was so mad. I was like, damn it, I wish it was in this city. But so anyway, yeah, somebody jacked my stuff. And yeah, it's weird. The only way to change your password is to do a forgot your password.
I hate that.
I thought that was so. I haven't seen a website like that forever.
Thing. Google does the same
thing. You can go in and no. We use Google in our business. You can change your password in Google. 100%.
Yes, you can change your password, but you can't get a forgotten password.
No, but I'm saying in Panago, you can't change the password. You can only do a forgot your password. So otherwise, my week was, we watched a new show on Disney. Well, it's not, I don't know how new it is, but it's called Chinese American Born or something. It was good. It was what's that movie? Ethan told us about it. It was like Everywhere, Everything, All the Things, All at Once and Nothing or something. I don't know. It won a bunch of awards. Both Christina and I were like, this is clearly not for us when we watched it. Ethan was like, it's the best movie I've ever seen. And I think even Ian was talking about how good it was. Nah, didn't like it, didn't get it. It was confusing. This was sort of around that same sort of genre, but it was fun. It was actually it was a good show that we watched, and I think that's my week, man. My week was pretty chill. Like it was a lot of work. And then Minecraft, I was playing a lot. Anytime I got a chance, I was hopping onto the Minecraft server. And it was fun because we were playing together. Like we hopped on Discord and we were slashing at enemies.
Are there any Kirby skills? You know the game Kirby, character Kirby. Like eats everything, kind of like Pac-Man in a way, but also sometimes depending on what it eats, it gains like the superpower of whatever it is that it ate. Any like Kirby powers?
I don't know if there's any Kirby powers. Kirby has some pretty awesome powers. Kirby's pretty sweet. Shane.
No, because I want to. Because Shane, a friend of our show, loves Kirby, and I was thinking about it when it came to our lawn. And for Path of Exile only lovers, we'll get to that in like 2 quick seconds.
Maybe chill out, enjoy the show.
Yeah, relax, touch some grass. But speaking of grass and Kirby, and Shane, I was looking at my lawn, and it's just been so hot and so dry.
Are you watering it, or are you just
like,
leaving it?
I'm leaving it. So I'm watering the plants and I'm using the sprinkler to water the plants. So
did you ever get the dripper hose? I thought there was a time where we were talking about it.
Yeah, I'm still humming and hawing about getting the dripper hose because I need about 200 feet. So I'd have to get four 50-foot hoses if I was doing the 50-foot ones. And I'm still not sure which brand is good enough. So I think I just want to buy 50 feet and see how it goes. But I still have some stuff in pots. And then there's a couple errant plants that I want to stay alive that wouldn't really suit the pattern or like where I would want the hoses to go. It would just have to like cross the whole lawn just for that one soaker hose. And so if I am going to like get up and start hand watering, I don't know, do I want to hand water everything? Do I just want to do that?
Do you just hand water in the evening, or what do you do?
So no, what I do for watering the plants is right now we're in stage 1 of our watering restrictions. And so I can water on Thursdays and yeah, I know you don't care. So we're allowed to water Thursdays and Mondays between 6 and 8 a.m. No, because one day I went past 8 o'clock only to 8:30 and I had a warning. They put it on my car.
The only way that happens is the neighbor has to report it.
Maybe, or they were driving by anyway.
Huh. Your house isn't a drive-by house. What the heck?
No, it's in a cul-de-sac. So one of my neighbors was like, excuse me, he's gone over by 15 minutes.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I hope I never find out who they are because I like all my neighbors. But anyway, no, because of that, so I just use that to water my lawn with my sprinkler. So then I don't have to walk around. It's 45 minutes of me doing other chores at the same time. Kind of like, doing chores while the laundry machine's going. And so that's when I water my lawn, but I don't move it around to get every aspect of the lawn. So anyway, the reason that I brought up Kirby is because I kind of feel like just like chomping up my whole lawn, getting lawn superpowers and starting all over again, or digging it up and not getting any of the superpowers, but then just actually making my whole front yard just a garden, a nice garden, not like a real cluster or anything, but
interesting.
And then the superpowers that I would get would make me a lawn master for the backyard.
What?
And then it would never ever, like right now my lawn is like, I would say a quarter of it's pretty brown just because the sun's just too much and there's not enough soil. The soil's too thin under there and it just can't retain anything. So I don't know. Could use some superpowers right about now. Lawn superpowers, that is.
If I was to ever tear mine up again, it would be because I'm putting in fake grass. If I was to tear it up, I'm actually my lawn's been
That's
fine.
Like the saddest thing a person could ever say.
Nah, it looks great. It's just you don't get to take care of it anymore, but it does look really good, like really, really good. So, but
I'm making a face that disagrees with Justin.
You're wrong. But I have been debating if I'm going to turn the sprinklers back on. The problem is through the summer, I could run the sprinklers. It would stay green, but I would also be busy. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to run the sprinklers, it means I'm pretty consistently cutting it once a week.
Yep.
So I haven't quite decided. It's still decent. We've run the sprinklers a little bit every now and then in the backyard, but the backyard tends to stay pretty green. Anyway, we had a bear on our street a couple days ago. Like
yeah,
on
you
our,
did.
like just like
I saw
5
that
houses
warning.
up. Yeah, it was crazy.
Hey, I think this was an after
I was like, bye,
dark.
Chica. Bye.
I remember Chica's Justin's dog. I remember, I think this was there's no way you would say this sober, an after dark conversation where you were talking about the difference between different bears and we were laughing. And you were talking about, I think we were talking about like strange wilderness where it's like he can't say brown bears, so then he goes on to say red bears.
Red bears.
And then the difference between a grizzly and a black bear and all that. And you were like legit serious that you could take on a black bear no problem.
Did I? Okay,
like,
that has to be after dark
hands.
because I don't remember that at all.
I'm sure you wouldn't. And I don't think you would never ever actually think that. So that was definitely alcohol induced. But yeah, so how'd it go taking on the black bear?
It was annoying because it meant I had to take the dog out. Because Christine was like, Logan's not going outside with the dog. I'm like, oh, he'll just, as long as he pushes the dog in front, he can run. He'll be fine. Yeah, we never saw it. It was never, whatever. No. People are so funny when that kind of stuff happens because they're, people report it and then they're like, we've called the non-emergency line to let them know, and they're getting a hold of the conservation people. And then you have those people that are like, just leave it alone. It's not hurting anyone. We've invaded its territory. It's like, maybe, but it could eat a child. So like, I know, it's so weird to me when people are like, I just find it so odd. Every time I look, I'm not going to say I'm not going to say that, but every time I look at the individual's photo that's making these comments, I'm like, it fits.
I feel bad, but I mean, that's like because of where we live and all the forest around us, we're not allowed to put out our compost the night before. Like when compost is
People
getting picked up the next day. All the time. But then, surprise!
Yeah, there's bears.
We get a lot of large four-legged friends coming by going dum-de-dum.
Yeah, I'm not saying
what's
like
in this
come by and just
bin.
shoot it, but the people that are like, just let it be, it's fine. It's like, okay, they're just going to take it and re-release it somewhere safe. They don't shoot and kill them. I just find them people that get so worked up, and I just love the idea that it's leaving people alone. We've invaded its space. Maybe, but it still would hurt somebody. Like it's not like you go walk by and be like, hey bud, I'm not here for you. Just doing my thing. You continue on. The bear's like, okay, thank you. Like,
yeah, I love it, right? I love the bear voice. Yeah. But I would like, what if that person who's like, just leave it alone, right? Because like we're in the middle of a city. We're not on the edge of a city. We're in the middle, but we get these. I mean, a few times a year they wander around along with other things. But of course, dares are more dangerous than deer. But anyway, just imagine if that person saw the bear mauling a person.
It's your own fault.
You invaded. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, it was funny.
So we're getting Twitch drops. Just this is
you can put now.
We are, and it's gonna be great. Twitch drops, and they look fantastic. Did you see the portals?
Hold on, I'm pulling it up.
We have the last month we've had like 1 or 2 links in our notes, so there's not much.
Oh, the portal looks like the heart. That looks like actually the there's a hideout MTX
like
thing that looks
Malachi's?
like that. That's cool. The heart.
Yeah, very, very cool. And the wings look pretty.
The wings are actually pretty cool too.
Yeah, and those are very generous. And like, I don't know. I always like, I guess there are people that feel like they need to or whatever. And I guess it's good in terms of numbers to draw,
isn't one of them like 4 hours worth of watch time to get?
I think they both are.
No, I thought one was 1 hour and then one was 4 hours when I was looking at their thing.
Oh, I skimmed through that part because I know I'm just going to watch the whole thing. So I'm going to get them anyway. But if I miss out on them, it's not a big deal. Because at the end of the day, I have like 1 or 2 favorite themes.
Yeah.
And that's it. Speaking of, I should probably get a mannequin or 2, hey? So I can just like click in and out of those favorite themes that I have, right?
Do you switch that often?
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, sorry. I switch my MTX often-ish based on mood. I wonder if the MTX also include... I don't know how to say this. I wonder if it includes all MTX, like pets.
No, I would doubt it. Because I'm guessing it's just armor.
That's all the same matching stuff too, right? Like, I have a parrot and a monkey, so the pirate theme, and I don't know. Anyway, it'd be nice if it did. Hopefully it does. I haven't bothered checking it out though. So anyway, yeah, the Twitch drops look fantastic. GGG, thanks so much for thinking of us and giving. I get the business side of it, where it's like, giving away free stuff gets in a little bit more of those apathetic numbers or fence sitting people that may or may not have watched. But I just think it's generous of them, and I appreciate it for sure. And it really is just in a dark week. Like we're recording this. Today's the 20th. It's Thursday. We're recording a day earlier than usual because I'm going to the Jays game tomorrow. And so we still have a week until ExileCon starts. But it seems like the last 3 weeks now have been dark.
Oh yeah, they have.
No trailers, no
super
nothing.
filler stuff.
But none of it. Outside of those 2 trailers they had, from one from Summer Game Fest, one the week after.
Yeah, nothing.
Except, I'm still surprised. I'm still surprised.
All past stuff, but nothing new.
No, yeah, but no teaser, no trailer, no. I was kind of hoping like.
I'm so surprised they didn't do pictures or something to just show off what ExileCon's looking like or how it's coming.
Yeah, that would be cool too, without it being spoilery in terms of what Path of Exile 2 is, or even sorry, my back.
Oh no.
No. It's from camping.
Oh, I'm going for my polo
I'm just getting
on Monday.
so into what I'm saying that I'm moving around more than when I was walking around camping. But anyway,
I'm going for my polo on Monday.
Are you?
Yep.
First time in forever. That is awesome.
Yep.
You're going to live another
racing on Monday. We'll have to see.
Oh, that's too bad because you missed last week too.
Not my fault. Sorry, go ahead.
So no, it's cool. It's just like we still have 1 week, so maybe this coming week they'll be a little bit more into hey, ExileCon's coming now. It's the last week before ExileCon 2. Can I call it
agree.
ExileCon 2?
That's what it is called.
Yeah, sure. Okay, it is ExileCon 2. Okay. Anyway, it's the last week, so hopefully they do just a tiny bit of like get hyped. Here we come. I was kind of hoping for that this week too.
You can't just like roll out on Friday and be like, okay.
We thought they were gonna do more though with like events and stuff, and they surprised us with that. So anyway, here's hoping. Even though this past week was week 2, right, the second last week before ExileCon 2. Here's hoping that this coming week we get some nice tasty stuff, some foreplay before the convention.
For people that are going to ExileCon, I guess this would be the week that they're exploring New Zealand, so that'll be fun.
That's right.
Because you'd have to go, they were told to go early, so
travel safely, everybody. Travel safe.
For those going, hopefully you have fun, enjoy that country. It's very nice.
It's like every single movie that I've ever seen is from there. It's like part of it's recorded there. It's like when you watch the very end of the credits, Aaron and I always, because Marvel screwed us up for this. Well, I guess Ferris Day's Bueller screwed us up for like post-credit scenes and stuff. So we always watch the very end anyway. And we're always excited whenever it's like beautiful British Columbia, where I was like, yeah. But every single time New Zealand's up there. It's like every single movie that exists touched New Zealand somehow. Yeah. It's probably just because it's so beautiful.
Do you know it's the last continent on Earth to be inhabited by people? I was watching something that was talking about the history continent. So whatever, like piece of land.
Okay.
Like large, whatever. I just thought that was interesting. Yeah. No
And
idea if it's
you know.
true, but I'm saying it is true because it was on, I think it was on like The Planet or what's that show with the British guy that narrates? I love it.
Anything with David Attenborough is watchable, like
Yep.
nonstop. You could fall asleep to his voice.
I get really annoyed. I watched the newest one
to his voice,
and there was only like 2 episodes. I was like, what?
Netflix.
Yeah.
He's a Netflix guy.
Yep. But I was really disappointed that there were only like 2 or 3 episodes.
There's also streaming code of conduct while we're on the that was kind of fun to read.
Me. So so it says for streamers that would like to share the ExileCon experience with viewers that aren't able to make it in person, we put together a code of conduct for live streaming at the event. Oh, so this is for
people that are at the event. My doorbell, just a moment.
Good.
Yeah, thanks for your patience. Our furnace or our air conditioner seemed to stop working yesterday after we got back from camping. So they're here today to double check.
Our favorite guys out there?
It is, and they're fantastic. Unless the reason it's not working is because the last checkup they just did in May made it stop working. But yes, it's our favorite guys. I think they're fantastic.
We had to have them come out to fix our tankless hot water because the guy who initially installed it just tried to do us a favor and it didn't work. I didn't know he was trying to do us a favor. Setting up some sort of loop and it caused our hot water not work, but they came out and fixed it. Okay, so anyways, back to the stream.
So you were
code.
confused
so it's for
about
people who are there that want to okay, that makes sense then. So for someone's that is one of the streamers that's going out, okay, can I just say, this is cool, this is fine. It applies to such a tiny amount of people.
Yeah, but you still have to post it.
We don't get any news for anything or any post, but we get this. No, come on. This applies to like 7 people.
Well, maybe 8 if we were going. But
we would not be streaming.
We'd have to read this. What are they going to do? Like send out a survey. Hey, let us know if you're planning on streaming while you're there. No, you got to send it to the masses. Yeah, you do. It doesn't matter if it only applies to 7.5.
Here's what I'll say. I agree with the very first reply on that post.
Okay. That's what it says.
Just okay. So that'll be interesting. I mean, they say in here we reserve the right to ask you to end your stream if we feel the code of conduct has been breached. I agree with them. They do, but who's actively? Is there literally someone on their staff that's going to be actively watching Twitch for who's streaming?
No, you hire security. No, but like here's the thing. Like if you see somebody, no, like you're not watching streams. You just see how people are interacting. So if somebody's got a selfie stick and they're talking to their camera in the bathroom, security gets called, right? It doesn't matter. If they think you're breaching the code of conduct, not if you actually are. Like, for example, let's say I have a big selfie stick and I'm like, they're talking about like not respecting people's space and you're all over the place and you're like bumping into people.
That's different.
And it doesn't even matter if you're broadcasting. You get security to be like, grow up, get your crap together and get out.
Yeah, that part makes sense. But I'm talking about like during the, don't talk during the developer talks.
Easy, man. Easy.
Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. Anyway,
it's always the scrawny people that are the scariest, man, because the second they go in rage mode, it's like they're ballistic. I can think of like some of our friends, skinnier, the more terrifying. That's for sure.
You just hold your arm out.
No, it's like they get the second degree of like, I don't know, it's like an afterburner. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited for it. We're 1 week away, just 1 week away, and then you and I are hanging out in your living room for like 24 hours straight. It's gonna be great. I'm staying the night in your living room. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, your living room has
just so you don't miss
bar. That's right. Your living room has the bar. So anyway, yeah, it was pretty cool. What else do we have? That's fun. What are you kind of expecting from Path of Exile? No, not Path of ExileCon 2. Like
that's a loaded question.
Well, we're a week away from like the biggest news outside of revealing the first version of the game and then revealing that a second version of the game is coming. Like this is
we already know that's
them
happening.
Explaining everything we want to know about the game. Like that's an assumption, but they did say at the end of this, we will have no secrets. I'm super excited that we'll be able to be open. And I remember joking, like how long does that last? You have ExileCon, the first one. Jonathan sits down and he's just no stress. You can just see every part of his body language is like, this is so relaxing. I have no secrets. That probably lasts not even a week because you start planning other stuff and get going. So however long that lasts though, like that's what Beck said. She tweeted out something along the lines of, I'm so excited to get everything off of our chest. No secrets, no nothing. So dang, like we're a week away from all that. There will
always be some sort of secrets and surprises because there may not be any secrets in the sense of like when it's coming. Like we may know that, but we're certainly not going to know all the details because if you think about every league that releases, there's always stuff we don't find out until right before it comes out. So we'll see. I don't even know how to answer what I'm expecting. I don't think I have any expectations. I think I'm going into it without any.
Throw in like expectations and hope. Like what are you hoping for? What are you expecting? What do you want out of it? What are you excited for? Like just puke ExileCon at me.
I am hoping that 322 somehow is engaging because I think we've talked about this before. It'll be the last league before PoE 2 and it needs to be something that's a reason to play, especially because if the timeline lines up, it's going to be at least, if not a little bit longer than a 3-month league. And that's it. I don't know. It needs to be something that's strong if that's going to be your last league before Exile or PoE 2. I don't know what my hopes are because I already know PoE 2 is coming. I can't think of anything related to it where I'm going like, boy, I hope they have this. I'm just hopeful that there's a pretty, I'm not sure what the word is, but a pretty clear understanding of what the road forward is now for them. Like I'm looking, if you don't follow Diablo 4, but Diablo 4 released, obviously sold more games than Blizzard's ever sold, did very, very well. Fell off hard. They've got their season 1 coming and people are very upset because it's getting nerfed to the ground very heavily for season 1. You release a game, you let people play it, people figure out builds, what's really strong, and then you go, all that stuff you guys like, we're just going to crush it. I don't want that to happen with PoE 2. I feel like GGG has been through enough process to be able to get a better understanding of how to come out with something that's strong off the bat. I don't want to have PoE 2 come out and then just feel like it changes in the first 3 months. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like really heavily changes. So the game itself, I'm really excited for. I just want to know when. It's hard for me to be excited because we've been waiting since 2019 and it feels like we've always been told like it's just around the corner. It's just around the corner. It's just around the corner. So it'll be cool to know a date. Maybe the date has me a bit nervous though too.
Oh, I really hope it's not 2024 or something.
I hope it's at the very latest, the end of 23. That's my feeling is that I think we talked about it. 322 goes, it runs for a 3 month. It puts them out right in the Christmas time. That would be my hope. That being said, how ballsy would that be to come out with your brand new game at the Christmas break for your staff?
Oh, you know,
Like,
that's such a good point. And I
before.
love that they're a staff first company. To me, every company needs to be. To me, that's how you put your customers first, is by putting your staff first. So maybe you're right. Maybe you do the spring break. And you know,
I don't want that at all.
No, I don't either. But when you start thinking about, when you start bringing up the staff prospect of it, I'd love to play it sooner, but that would make perfect sense to me. If they just said, like, listen, it's probably going to be ready, but we really want to be hands on deck for this. We're going to let people have their, and you could picture GGG saying this. We want our staff to be at their prime, refreshed and ready to go. So we're going to be releasing this after the Christmas break.
Then you have to have 323 though.
Yes, you do. And I don't, but with that explanation and with how launches go and wanting to fix things quick, you want to keep those. Remember, they reference the Lost Ark style introduction numbers. You want to keep those. You can't have people gone. You can't, because if there is something that's unforeseen with whatever test, you know, that makes sense. So I think anything after spring break would be disappointing.
I will be disappointed if it's not before the end of the year, just because what will be the biggest reason of my disappointment is that I will feel like ExileCon 2 was not well planned out. Like, I've already been asking and curious and been like humming and hawing when we've talked, like, it doesn't make sense. Something doesn't make sense. Like, either we don't know something or they planned poorly and Chris wasn't aware. ExileCon 2 coming out with a spring release to the game doesn't make sense, especially when you combine it with their big push into all these whatever they're called, conventions or whatever they're coming up before November, because PAX West I think is the last one, which is in September. For me,
okay, I'll get my cat. Just hang over here.
So anyway,
keep talking. I'm going to write down 2 points before I forget them. I forgot them.
Yeah,
I'm not writing down anything.
You and your stupid cat. I think
right. You were saying that ExileCon would be poorly planned.
Oh, it's poorly planned.
If they are coming out with a March release.
It doesn't make sense to me.
To me, it does. But now I don't know how the summertime works everywhere else, right? If they all follow, if the majority of cultures follow the same, you know, you get time off. The summer 2 months
this
off
is their winter
in June, July. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, does school follow that? Do they have their summer break in December, January, February? I don't know. Because a lot of what they post does revolve around the Pacific Standard Time, right? For whatever the reasons are. So, I mean, the only time to really have a convention is in the summer of whatever time zone you're focusing on. So you kind of do have to have a summer convention. I mean, I know they had their other one just after Christmas,
November.
Right? It was, what was it, November? Okay.
It was November.
It's still a tricky time, but I guess it does make sense for if people don't all have the same, you know, like 10 to 2 month schedule. You know, it's like you either have it at that end of the year, right? The January end of the year or the summer end of the year.
I think you're maybe thinking too much for them, or like trying to put too much thought into it. For me, it feels like they would plan it around something that they had planned, which they literally right off the bat start pumping the idea of PoE 2. So then for me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to go, here's our ExileCon 2, and in 6 months, we're going to be releasing PoE 2. That to me is a bit too far. The idea of like an end of November, beginning of December, obviously I think would be awesome because we play it sooner. It would be fantastic, obviously financially for them. But you better make sure that either you told your people they don't get Christmas, or you're so confident in the quality and level of the game that you're not worried about, you know, that kind of thing, which they're not. They couldn't be. There's no way that they, you know.
Or they give their employees an early 2 week break.
I mean, the one thing too is
like during
we actually
3/22
don't know a beta release. We don't, like, let's just assume that everything they've said is correct. We're supposed to actually, did they ever even say that we would actually know the PoE 2 release date, or just that we would know the PoE 2 beta? I actually don't know if they ever said we would know
remember.
the PoE 2 release.
I have so much of their news forgotten and mixed up because it's spread out over so much time. Like people on Discord are like, oh, actually they said this and they said this, and I trust them. It's just I don't have a recollection of that.
So maybe we don't know a PoE 2 release date. Maybe we only know a PoE 2 beta.
I agree it's a possibility, but I don't think you can have ExileCon and not shove out a date. To have sometime in 2024 or Q4 2023, like that, no. Like
if you put out a date,
I think they are going to throw out a date for the actual expected launch of Path of Exile 2, because I remember Chris saying at the beginning of this league or the last league, he's like, we know exactly how many leagues it is until ExileCon 2, and I don't doubt that. But but you do bring up a good point. We still have the beta to go. Now, whether the beta is alongside 322, but if it's not, then it's, yeah, I mean, it could be. Betas aren't long, where most aren't long. So, I mean, you could still have the league and the beta at the same time. You just have the beta at the, the downtime of 322, especially if GGG is doing their beta in more of a like crash bug, like you're only looking for crash bugs. You're not really looking for design flip-flops or suggestions. You're just like, we just want a whole bunch of players in the game, try and break the game. Okay, awesome. Didn't find any crash bugs. Let's get this going. I mean, you're obviously going to find crash bugs, but that's, in my experience, that's what betas have been, especially the public ones, because you just want that system to just be overflowed with a whole bunch of new options and characteristics and base type and ascendancy combos and node combos. And it still amazes me when you see those patch notes and it's like, yeah, using this unique with this specific notable on the tree with this specific class in this specific area while you're jumping up and down on your left foot with your right eye closed causes the game to crash 50% of the time. We fixed it. Those bugs astonish me. Bug fixes astonish me.
If they come out with a date, then it better be like Jerry Seinfeld carved into the side of the cow type of date. Like I don't want.
Oh, I love that reference.
I don't want like coming in March 2024.
Yep.
No, I want a specific the exact date that it's going to be coming out.
Can you, I don't like talking like that, but can you, like, so people, you say what Jerry Seinfeld said, but he's putting like a brand iron into a cow.
Oh, you don't like the word?
Right. So,
okay.
Well, because it's going to say, if I say gosh darn, it's going to sound, it just doesn't have the same.
Your gosh darn date.
Yeah.
Right.
So Jerry Seinfeld's talking about like how people know expiry dates of milk. And people are terrified of like, but look at the date. It was yesterday. Am I going to die? What's going to happen? Or he's like, but there's only one more day left. Should I drink it? Should I pour it out? What should I do? And so his joke is like how people know what the expiry date of milk actually is on the carton. And then
how they brand it onto the side of the cart. And he goes like, as if he's branding a piece of milk, and he says, that's your goddamn date right there. And the funny part about it too is he's like, are they getting tipped off by the cows? Like the cow's like, March 14th.
Yeah, it's such a with Justin and I reference funny. It's Jerry Seinfeld for the last
like forever.
Is it ago. Oh no, I forgot it. Is it For the Last time? Or The Last Stand?
For the last time?
For the Last time. It's from the like 90s or early 2000s. Justin and I used to watch that like mad. And that's where many of our quotes come from. A lot of
our references come from it.
You were mentioning
I
something.
just do want a set date.
Yeah, agreed. I think it would be disappointing. If they didn't have an actual date. One thing that I am trying to remind myself, because there has been, and understandably, so much hush about what's coming. Right, like what Path of Exile 2 is, what is changing, what it's not. But at the same time, I'm trying to remember or remind myself, especially now that we're really close to the date. Like ExileCon 2 is not far away. We're going to find out every question we ever had. Well, kind of. We're probably going to have a million more after this, but that's part of the joy. But it's just Path of Exile 1 getting better. You know what I mean? Like I'm hoping for revamped tooltips the way that I want to, but it might not be that way. I'm hoping for, like our Discord, because of our conversation that we had last week in the podcast, our Discord was talking quite a lot this time about like a death recap and how that could work. If that doesn't happen, it's just an improvement to the game. Like I got to remember, like not everything that I've ever hoped for and ever dreamed of in Path of Exile is going to happen. It's just going to be a much better version of Path of Exile 1, more controlled. Like that's kind of where I'm trying to set my expectations so that because I don't want it to be, for me as a fan, I don't want to go into ExileCon thinking they're gonna, every single thing that I've ever wanted in Path of Exile is going to happen, and if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be disappointed. You know what I mean? I'm like, I want to go into this with my baseline just being like, this is just going to be a sweet update. That's all it is. Oh, cool, they're introducing a new ascendancy. That's my pants just exploded. You know, like I'm trying to keep, because because this hype has gone on for so long, you kind of get lost in the mentality of hopes and dreams, and then all these conversations branch out. But because there's so much silence about Path of Exile 2, and again, understandably, it's just easy to get lost in these different paths and trains of hope. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to remind myself going into ExileCon that it's just a big update, and that's it. You did bring something up in regards to Diablo, though. What was your point with Diablo? That they fell off hard,
and then they came out with their first season and nerfed everything.
Right.
Which is a problem for me, because you bring people into the game, they find stuff they like, they get excited about it, then they go into the first season, which is their league, and you just crushed a lot of the stuff they liked.
And that kind of teases, if you throw that into Path of Exile land, that kind of teases the prospect of them introducing. So remember last week we talked again about the prospect of GGG throwing as much of PoE 2 into PoE 1 as possible, right? And if you do that and you have 322 as Path of Exile 1 with as much 320 or as much Path of Exile 2 as possible, you're getting that new feel in, along with, you know, it's like that new balancing system, and you're getting all that in. And so stuff gets crunched and balanced, nerfed, increased before Path of Exile 2 shows up. If there's certain things that, you know, if there's things that can be compatible in that way with how Path of Exile 1 and Path of Exile 2 get merged, however it is that they're still planning on doing that, that would be an opportunity for them to basically do what Blizzard did, right? Balance the game, but do it pre-launch instead of post-launch.
I don't know that you could without the full release of the game, though. There's just so many new things that will hopefully come in. Of course,
there's going to be so many skills you're not even going to be able to touch before Path of Exile 2 comes out, but there is the possibility of, like, this is how this damage works with this new type of movement, with this new type of, you know, you cast that fireball and it spins your character upside down and backwards. Okay, so now there's that extra time to deal with. Maybe the skill needs to do more damage because of, you know, the amount of movement that skill requires. You know what I mean? Like, you could add that as cast time, right? That animation. So anyway, I'm just saying, like, it would be, if that was happening, it would be a good opportunity for them to mitigate as much as possible any changes that would be coming post Path of Exile 2 launch.
You made a good point about
thank you.
Betas not typically being longer. And I think one of the things that's with regards to Path of Exile that maybe I'm sometimes not considering or trying to think through is, I played the beta, and the beta was very long in Path of Exile, the first one, but it was also sort of a release like the way that they do Steam games now. Where
wait,
games
are you talking long as in like the duration of the gameplay? Like you could play as much as you wanted? Or are you saying, you're talking Path of Exile 1. Sorry, I was thinking when you were at ExileCon, you were playing the demo. No, I'm sorry, that was my fault. Right, go ahead.
I played PoE during its beta, closed and open, and it was a long time. And I think I need to remind myself that the plan is not for PoE 2 to come out in the state like you see alpha games come out on Steam now, where you can buy them and you get early access. I shouldn't say alpha, they were called early access on Steam. But it does bring up the question that if they're doing a beta for PoE 2, it should actually be a short thing. This shouldn't be like a 3-month beta. You should have a beta that is like
a week,
2 weeks max.
Yeah,
right. Doesn't that seem like a bit long?
2 weeks seems
really
long.
Don't want people to experience. Well, actually, you're right. Given the way that some people are able to play the game, 2 weeks. I wouldn't think in a beta you would want people experiencing the full width of the game.
You would. I mean,
end game.
Their acts are going to be longer if it's still what ExileCon 1 said, and if I'm remembering it correctly, they're doing a 7 acts.
7 acts. It's supposed to be the same amount of time.
It's supposed to be the same duration. I mean, how you do that, I don't know. Like what that pace is, who knows, right? But if it's supposed to be the same duration as the 10 acts of PoE 1, that 7 acts, they're slightly longer acts per act, right? So maybe you give them access to half the act, and you're just playing through that same half act over and over and over, but you get
Are you getting good enough information from that?
Well, I don't know.
Like,
Like, do you like? You're obviously signing a non-disclosure, like a disclosure agreement, so that you can't share what these new ascendancies are. But maybe they're already sharing what the new ascendancies are.
It could be. It doesn't have to be that. It could be.
They have a lot of options available, but you definitely don't want them experiencing the full game. I think it'd be better to experience all the ascendancies for half an act than to experience the first 2 acts with only 5.
But then what's the beta doing? Is it testing the server load? Is it testing the thing is with Path of Exile, nothing matters until end game. Like it doesn't. You can actually go through the acts with almost anything, but you can't do the end of the game with almost anything. That's where it actually matters for how you're testing stuff out and does this work and is that like, so I'm curious, how do they properly test without it being internally the full width of the game, especially if you don't run like it would be weird to do a full, like what they did with PoE 1 style of the closed beta or the open beta, sorry.
Yeah, because it's not like with Path of Exile 1, they had 2 acts. And then eventually they had 3. And then eventually they had 4. So you were experiencing a good portion of the game, but that didn't matter because they had planned later releases. Whereas with this one, we're getting the entire campaign and end game right with the official launch. And you don't want that to come out before launch, right?
You wouldn't think.
Well, right. So, I mean, that being said, though, I've mentioned quite a few times on the podcast, I'm not interested in doing the beta. It'd be fun to be a part and to be helpful, but as a fan, I don't want anything spoiled for me. I'm going to take what you give me at ExileCon. And I mean, if they let us know everything, they're not going to let us know all the story of the campaign and all that kind of stuff. And I want to experience that. I mean, currently we hate the campaign and we hate releveling and all that kind of stuff, but I still want to enjoy it for the first time quite a few times, right? But I want to see how the different ascendancies or classes interact with the different things. They're going to have options and different ways to go about the campaign. I don't want to watch anybody do it, and I don't want to experience it when it doesn't matter, right? Like a beta, they're wiping your account, whatever it is. And so, yeah, I don't know how you do it. I guess the people that sign up for beta are just more stoked for the game than they are for the story. And you got to kind of shrug your shoulders there too. But I don't know.
Which is normal. The story's meh.
We'll find out. Maybe it'll be good.
Been meh.
Maybe. I haven't enjoyed the prospect of the current Path of Exile 1 story, just the world like that the mountain being a beast, being able to be in there, all the thaumaturgy. It's not my style of
it's cool, but it's an ARPG.
Yeah, well, it's not my style of fantasy. Like if you made it into a graphic novel, it's that kind of augmentation and extreme part of fantasy. It's not, for some reason, it doesn't interest me very much.
I find it's very difficult to make a story matter in a loot-based ARPG style. I don't care who's making the game. I don't care what the background is for it. When the goal of the game is to kill as many enemies as you can to get lots of loot to figure out gear, it's really tough to sell a story because you're like, just finish the cutscene. I would like to go and kill stuff. So it'll be fun. Regardless, I'm super pumped for it. I'm excited to see what they show us and what they tell us.
Can't wait.
And are you actually not going to take notes? I feel like you need to take notes.
Well, first off, before we get there, GGG, don't feel bad about people or us not liking your story. We don't like any ARPG story. There's not one ARPG.
It's just not a story-based game for me.
Even the majority of other games have crappy stories. Almost.
I like the end game type stuff, but because you get to experience that just naturally, like the Baron, the Conquerors, that stuff was cool.
Or when you discover for the first time that the Shaper is Xana's dad, like when you get in the fight for the first time, she's like,
that's fine.
Father, you don't know anything about Xana, you don't know anything about the Shaper, and then all of a sudden you get there, like I don't anyway, because I'm not paying attention to the story, and then all of a sudden you get there, it's like, Father, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Right? I like that stuff too.
The Cyrus part could be a little shorter
or non-existent.
Well, I hate Cyrus, but I'm just saying in general, like I don't want to watch Baron jump in front every single time and then wait for him to monologue so I can go and try and fight him. But that stuff's fine. But the storyline in the quest, like I'll pay attention when we play it through the first time. That's it.
You'll do it a couple times. It changes just, and it's probably going to change based on your class. The story after that.
No, it's not.
It's what if
you're out of your mind. What if what?
That.
No, I'm not going to care. I'm going to just want to get to the end.
So we have
in the fastest way possible.
1 week away.
Yeah.
Biggest update the Path of Exile's ever had is going to be announced and fully fleshed out. People are going to be going. We are going to be hanging. Oh yeah, you asked about notes, and we are going to be hanging out at your place. And
I think you should bring a notepad. Just saying.
Why?
I don't think you'll remember. I don't think.
Well, here's the thing. We have episode 200.
One of us needs.
We have 3 weeks from ExileCon to 322. I'm going to rewatch all of this and start taking notes.
So our episode 199, our ExileCon episode will be like, that was cool. No clue what they talked about, but boy, was that awesome. See you in 200.
Yeah,
we'll
have
we're going to record it that night.
Let's ad lib it. We'll just go nuts. We'll talk about whatever pops into our mind, and then I'll have a billion notes to carry us through for the next 3 weeks after ExileCon.
For the hot tub stream.
Yeah, that's right. Live car giveaway with a hot tub on top.
Whilst in a hot tub, giving away a live car. Ooh, I've never seen one of those before. All right, should we wrap this up? Our last episode before ExileCon.
I'm so excited. I feel like Path of Exile 2 is coming out.
It's not.
Next week.
It's not.
No, I know it's not. I'm not trying to start that conversation.
No, let's not get back into that again.
No, I know, right?
Although if you did hear that, it was Tyler, Wrecker of Days, that said it. Okay?
Nice save. You almost said my last name there, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, I definitely didn't. All right, let's wrap this up. Episode 198, Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, a.k.a. Tags.
Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Thank you, patrons, and everybody else for listening. Patrons, we'll catch you in After Dark. Everybody else, we'll see you next week, episode 199, after ExileCon 2.
Live at Justin's house.
Oh, yeah. Well, it won't be live, but, you know. Patrons will catch you in After Dark. Everybody else, if you look for more information, you'll find it down below. We got a website, foreverexiled.com. We're on Twitter, foreverexiled82. We have a very fun Discord you should be a part of. And Patrons, other ways to support the podcast, you'll find them down below on our website. Don't forget to hit that 5 stars on Apple and Spotify because it makes us feel
tingly.
Perfect. Bye.
Stupid. I need new friends.